Welcome to MouseClicks TV. My name's Tim Myers. I'm here with Don Corbett, the Linux guy, and he's going to talk about Fedora 13.
Fedora 13, and of course Fedora is a play on words from Red Hat, and Fedora is the community distribution. So what happens is Red Hat has the community, tens of thousands of people, literally, playing with code 24/7 all over the world. They hit and miss and get the right combinations of stuff that works well together, and then they make the corporate distribution out of it, the RHEL, Red Hat Enterprise Linux, and then they charge tons of money for making that corporate worthy.
And that's what's great about Linux. There's a lot of people that are working on it together. It's a collaboration of not just like Microsoft.
Oh, exactly
it's
right.
Everybody.
And it's a good news, bad news thing, because some folks get their feelings hurt because they say, well, Red Hat's making a lot of money off of this, and I contributed to it. But that's what the community thing is all about,
right.
and you can still go out and do your support of it. You've still got some great resume material. So stop your whining and keep contributing.
It's almost like a commune that works.
Kind of. There's a bit to that, but there's room for all kinds of theologies and methodologies and terminologies.
Right.
So pick your favorite ology and jump on in. So 13 is the latest and greatest. Now with Red Hat's release of version 6, I believe that the stop point that they did with Fedora to make the new 6 was back to Fedora 9.
Wow.
So you got 10, 11, 12, and 13.
4 different,
that's how far ahead this is. But the thing is, I wouldn't want to run Fedora necessarily on mission critical corporate. If I'm GE or NBC Universal.
Right.
I want something that's going to be more stable to do that. But this is the cool stuff for you and I to play with, and it's certainly very good in terms of running the laptop. But I just wanted to show you all what's there. In fact, as soon as you have any Fedora distribution, as I'm running here on my Dell, it comes up and says, hey, 13's out there. I could download it, but I'd rather have the DVD because that's a little easier to work with.
A little faster.
It's faster, and I never know where I'm going to be when I'm doing stuff, I don't like to have a lot of different. Plus, if I'm at somebody else's system and they're having a network problem, okay, now I can't download it. I need some media, and that's why I always carry my library of media. So for all those reasons, I want to have DVDs, at least several of the more popular and most recent of all the distributions. So with that, then I'm going to start up. I've already actually installed it, and in fact, we installed it on one of the previous segments. So if you haven't seen that segment, go on out and check the segment where we put this on the virtual machine. So then I fired up the virtual machine, and it says that the guest is not running. I'm going to start that up, and from here out, it's going to look just like I'm running it on a bare metal box, even though it's a virtualization. So we're now running Fedora 13 under Fedora 11, because since I'm, you could say, kind of corporate with my use on this, this is my business, and I don't want to be bleeding edge as my core system. I need to know exactly how this is going to behave in every environment. You can also make Fedora so that it is bootable from a thumb drive if your BIOS supports that.
That could be really handy.
Yeah. 2 gig drives really all you need, and in some cases, if you make a monolithic kernel, one that's just very stripped down and doesn't allow a lot of extras, then it'd fit on 1 gig drive. So once you've installed, you just let it go through its basic install. The first thing you're going to come to is a welcome screen. And now one of the other things I want to do here is take my view and scale this so that I'm scaled properly. And we want to proceed through the license. I want to create a user, and go through here real quick. Now you'll notice in this case, I can use this with a network login. I can use this for attaching to a Windows LDAP, NIS, bind. There are several options, but I just wanted to show that that is an option. We're not doing that, so I will continue on. And we should be ready to get started here.
Great. So for some of our users that don't know, or our viewers, there's different Linux distributions, and depending on what you want to do, depends on the distribution. Would you agree with that? Or
That's correct.
Because some are better at certain things than others.
Certain things than others. For example, normally on a laptop, you're not going to find Fedora. You're generally going to find Ubuntu, and in some cases, I'm seeing more and more use of SUSE because of particular network cards that may be out there. And I forget which computers are kind of biased toward that, but SUSE seems to fix one or the other. So if Ubuntu doesn't find your Wi-Fi and all of your media, and especially with the sound and the networking, try the SUSE install. But back in the old days, those distributions were still out there, but we still had to manually go in and tweak and recompile the kernel, and those things just are not necessary anymore.
So that's a good thing to know about Linux, is that Linux has a lot of different options, whereas I'm a Windows guy, but I've got a choice of Windows.
Correct.
I mean, there's Windows 7, there's Vista, but why go backwards? You want to be the new, new operating
and that's
system.
exactly right. The core thing is to remember is that regardless of your distribution, it's still Linux.
Right.
Linux is Linux, whether it's Linux on your TiVo, Linux on your Droid, Linux on your Dell.
Right.
The difference is just hardware. So now one of the things I'm seeing here is because I'm running in my virtual environment, I've got a little bit of scaling issue here. So if I try to exit out of that and rescale my screen, because this was really designed where you know that from previous shows I normally have a big screen along with this screen, but since I just came from one of the shows, I didn't bring that with me.
You don't keep one of those in your pocket?
Don't keep one of those in my pocket because my pocket's not big enough for that. But in the time that it's taken us to talk here, I've created a new login, and wasn't paying attention here. Things like having a caps lock on, not a good thing.
Was that for creating a password? Or?
Yeah.
See, that's one good thing about Windows. When you're logging in, it'll tell you your caps are on.
Yep. Well, and this can do that as well. I just wasn't paying attention to it. And the amount of time that it takes to install this is probably about 10 minutes.
Okay.
There's only one reboot. And
well, that's something different too compared to Windows.
Yeah.
We know with Windows there's a lot of reboots.
Well, the only time that you ever have to reboot a Linux box is when you've done something with the kernel.
Okay.
Because everything with an application runs totally independent of the operating system.
For the viewers that don't really know what a kernel is, what is
well, the
that?
kernel would be like what DOS is to Windows.
Okay.
What DOS was for Windows 98, which is just your
kind of the inner
environment.
workings
Yeah,
of
it is the
operating
inner workings
system.
that makes the hardware work. And
Okay.
looks like that's about all we're going to have time for, but we'll be clicking at you.
Hi, my name's Tim Myers from MouseClicks TV, and this is a video tutorial. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about some of my favorite software that I think is essential if you're going to be using your computer. And the best thing of all is that most of it's free. Actually, it is all free. There may be some commercial versions of the same software, but it is free. So the first one I'm going to talk about is Malwarebytes. Malwarebytes, what that is it's anti-spyware and anti-malware software. What it does is it'll scan your computer and take out all those nasty critters that might be lurking in your computer. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and open up this hyperlink and show you where you can get it at. And then I've already got it installed on my computer, so I will actually show you what it looks like. So here's where you can get it. It's www.malwarebytes.org, and then you're going to scroll down a little bit and download the free version. See, there is a full version. It's a well, let's not say full version, because it will scan the way it says. It'll scan for malware and other things. So I'll show you what it looks like. Right here is Malwarebytes. Go ahead and open that up for you. Okay, Malwarebytes. The first thing you want to do once you install it is you're going to go up here to updates, and you're going to click check for updates. You can see that I checked on 9/13, so there may not be any updates right now, but we're going to check, and look, there is. So that's one good thing about this program, is it's continuously having updates for the signatures of this malware and spyware. So once this is finished, it's going to tell you that it's done. And then what you're going to do is you're going to come over here to scanner, click on that. We're just going to perform a quick scan. You can choose a full scan if you wanted to scan, say, like if you have more than one hard drive or possibly even a USB drive. This function down here is only available to licensed users, so that's if you've purchased the software. So what it's going to look like once you scan the software is you're just going to click scan, and here in a minute it'll take you through a little bit of what it's doing. You'll see it going up here. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and cancel it so we see what it's doing. And then once it finds something, you'll see it in here. So let's just go ahead and cancel it, and let's look at our next bit of software that I wanted to show you. So we'll go ahead and click to stop this. You're going to let it finish, but we're going to let it stop. So the next one that we're going to look at is Avast. Avast is a free antivirus, and I think it's one of the best ones out there, especially because it's free. But I have been using Avast for years now, and I've never come up with a virus, and if I have, Avast has been able to get rid of it very easily. So I'll show you where to get that at. We'll go up here, right click on it, and I'm going to go to open the hyperlink here, and this is where you'll be able to get Avast. Now you're going to want to choose this one because this one is free, so you'll click the download, and you can get that at www.avast.com/free antivirus download. You don't want to go to www.avast.com unless you really want to pay for it, but there is a free version out there. So I'll go ahead and minimize that and show you what it looks like. This is the A for Avast down here. Now if you click on that, it'll show you a lot of things that it can do. It can protect you while you're doing instant messaging. Your internet mail, network shield, Outlook Exchange, P2P shield, standard shield, and web shield. Just leave this at normal. And what you're going to do though, if you want to scan your computer for viruses, is you're going to put your mouse over here, right click, and we're going to click Start Avast Antivirus. And when I click this, it's going to scan the memory first, which is good. So you can see it starting to scan the memory. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this so you see what it's doing. And then the rest of the program will pop up. You're going to want to let it finish. You're not going to want to cancel it. I always just close this. And what you can do with Avast is you're going to click this little arrow up right here. And then you're going to click Start Scan. You're going to select the scan area, and I'm going to choose local disks. And what that's going to do is it's going to scan my C drive and any other disk I might have, and then you're going to click this button right here to start the scan. And I'll show you what it looks like. We'll scan a couple files. It's pretty fast, really. It's already scanned 500 and some files, as you can see. And I'll let it scan a little bit, and it'll tell you how complete it is. Right now it's 0% complete because I have a lot of files on there. There's different settings you can put on here. Just kind of look through them, and see what you would like to have Avast do. So it's scanned a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and close it, and we will look and see what other software I think is pretty good to use. The next one is CCleaner. CCleaner, what that does is it takes garbage that is unneeded and unused out of your system registry, which is the place where a lot of instructions for your computer programs is stored. It's kind of like the brains of where what programs are supposed to do. But when you install them, a lot of them are left in there and they're unused, so you want to get rid of those. So what we do is I'm going to right click on here to go ahead and open that, show you where you can get it at. And this is where you'll go to get it. And then once you're at this page, I'll go ahead and show you right here. I usually start with file hippo, and that's going to bring me to the website where I can actually download CCleaner. CCleaner is also a good one that continuously updates, and it'll tell you when there's an update and ask you if you want to download it. You'll just click on that, and that will download CCleaner. So I'm going to go ahead and minimize this and show you what it looks like. All of these programs, you're safe if when you install them, if you just leave them at the defaults. What CCleaner will also do is it'll clean out some of your hard disks. It'll help you free up space, get rid of garbage that you no longer use. For example, temporary internet files, cookies, history, recently typed URLs, index, last download locations, and all those good stuff. You can click Analyze, and it'll tell you how much you can actually free up. And it's usually safe to get rid of all this. So we can actually free up 620.6 megabytes of space that we really don't need to be using. And then you're going to click Run Cleaner. And what that will do is it'll actually clean up all that stuff. So you can see it tells you how much is done, 48%, 58%. And it's fairly quick. But the best thing is it's free, and it does free up some space on your hard disk. Next thing I would do is I would click Registry Cleaner and just leave all these. Click Scan for Issues, and it'll see if we have anything on my laptop here that we need to get rid of. And I just did this yesterday, so we may not have anything. But you'll see, and then it'll ask you, do you want to make if it finds something that needs to be cleaned up, it'll ask you, do you want to make a backup of your registry? And click Yes, and then store it possibly on your desktop. That way you'll know where it is in case something wrong happens, and you can always restore that. This, like I said, this helps get rid of junk that you don't need in your registry, that doesn't need to be loaded each time you boot up your computer, which in turn can also make it faster booting. So that's CCleaner. The next thing I want to show you is something that's really cool. It's called OpenOffice. And this thing right here, my word writer that I'm using is OpenOffice, but I'm going to show you where to get it at. Go up here, and we'll open this hyperlink. And it's www.openoffice.org. And what openoffice.org is, really, it's an alternative to Microsoft Office. And again, the best thing is it's free. So this is where you would get it at. You would just download here. It's fairly large, so it's going to take a few minutes, but I'm sure most of us have broadband. So probably, I wouldn't say it would take much more than 15 minutes to download. It's over 100 meg, but it's well worth it. And let's go ahead and show you what OpenOffice is all about. Go up here to OpenOffice. Like I said, it's an alternative to Microsoft's Office, and the best thing is it is free. So let's see what it looks like here. Oh, it's trying to open up my Office documents. I'm going to go ahead and close it just so I can show you what everything else looks like. So it's got a text document for writing letters. It's got presentations, which would be Microsoft presentations. It's got a database. It's got templates. It's got the spreadsheet, which is Excel, and then the drawing, and then other things. Really, really cool to have. And like I said, the best thing is it's free. So that's that. That's where you can get it at. Again, my name's Tim Myers. This was a video tutorial from Mouseclicks TV. Thank you.
And welcome back to mouseclickstv.com. I'm Don Corbett, the Linux guy, across with the Apple guy, Marcus Carr, aka Tree.
What up?
Doing it again.
Yes, sir.
Now, Tux has gotten real interested in your machine all of a sudden, and I'm curious. I mean, he's literally moved across the table here. What's going on over there?
We're going to work together on something today.
Cool.
I don't know if you've heard, but a little while ago, they had a big Apple press event, and they introduced a new Apple TV.
Neat.
It starts out about $99. They took out the hard drive.
Wow.
They got it small. It's like hockey puck size. They added Netflix, which is a big deal. That's probably
big deal.
The biggest deal. All streaming. That's all it does. It streams from your iTunes.
Yeah.
Streams from Netflix. It streams from Apple. That's about all. You know, you can rent movies with it. It's a cool device for $99. But the old Apple TV has a hard drive.
Right.
It's really big. It's a little bigger, but it's pretty cool because the community supports it.
Yep.
And you can hack the heck out of it.
Now that sounds like our kind of tool.
So there's a small trick that involves a USB drive and Mr. Tux.
Wow.
So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to hack an Apple TV today.
Let's do it.
We're going to go ahead and slide the USB stick in. We're going
Auto mounts, right?
Yes, sir. We're going to use a program called ATV USB Creator. So what we're going to do is we're going to use ATV USB Creator to create a patch stick to kind of jump around Apple's own software.
Oh, cool. Okay, yeah.
Load some other stuff on there and have a...
You're just going to append to what they've already done.
Yes, sir. We're going to give ourselves a little more power.
Very cool.
You go to code.google.com/p ATV USB Creator. We'll have everything right for you.
Right
down there.
Somewhere. So.
Yeah, so you guys just follow the links and or do a Google search for ATV USB Creator. There's also another one called ATV Flash, but that's like $50 or something like that. We don't want to pay for something that's free.
Absolutely right.
I have the ATV USB Creator right here on my desktop. Go ahead and click it. You want to have at least a 1 gig USB stick. When you're doing it, you definitely want to have only one USB stick on your computer. If you have two, it gets confusing because they use the way that you would look at it in the command line. It's /dev.disk1.
Right.
That's the way the computer sees it. It's not the way that we would look at it.
So you want one physical media because that's how it's logically mapped.
Right. You can, if you're smart enough, you can do two.
Yeah, but
you don't want
if you don't have to.
You don't want to lose any data.
Exactly right.
If you don't have to.
But keep it simple.
All right. Everything is pretty much cool. You're going to use version 3.x. You definitely want to have all of this stuff installed. SSH is a must. And that's all. You just hit create. It takes a couple of minutes, a couple seconds. It installs everything, all your patches, and it includes Boxy.
Calling this from Apple? I mean, you're doing
no.
download?
It does it straight from the program.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's all right there.
It's all right here.
Wow. Very, very cool.
Well, I guess it is downloading a couple of things.
Well, it would seem like the way, as we have dependencies, BSD does the same thing as well. And for that to be on the memory stick like that, there's an awful lot that needs to be done when you're appending to a program that's that complex normally.
Sure.
So I would expect at least a little bit of download.
Well, the good thing about the old Apple TV is it runs off of an old OS 10.
Right.
So it was very easy for them to kind of hack around.
Oh, sure.
And just add the extra special sauce.
Yep.
That enables me to watch the movies that I've kind of ripped myself.
Okay.
Kind of.
Did that little DD thing?
Yeah.
More or less. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and let this run, and then next time we'll go ahead and pull out an old Apple TV.
That sounds great.
Hack it up.
Next segment?
Sure.
Great. Well, we will be returning with another segment with Marcus Carr Tree. I'm Don Corbett, the Linux Guy. You're watching MouseClicksTV.com. Keep on clicking.